guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Ms. KK and this is Wave. It is your weekly show that looks at topics related to personal, family and business finances, and our hope is that by the time we get to the end of this series, you are really better equipped to make sound financial decisions. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. We really love having you on this amazing community, so please consider subscribing. And if you're already a returning subscriber, an awesome appreciation to you guys for always engaging in the comment section as well as interacting on Instagram as you are helping us grow this amazing community. Keep on doing that. So this is the second video I'm loading today, and going forward I'll be loading 2 videos a day. From a cost perspective, it's cheaper for me to do that way because with the service provider that I'm using, you can actually get an unlimited data at a good speed for the whole day. So and you only pay $15 Namibian for it. That's why I'm actually doing that. And because we are here about money, why not save some coins from a data perspective? So expect to see 2 videos a day, at least twice a month, unless I've been really having a hectic schedule at work. But if that's the case, I'm obviously going to communicate it on my Instagram page so that we can just all stay tuned with what is happening on the channel. So the second video that I'm going to do today is also inspired by one of the questions that came out from the most frequently asked question on my Instagram page, and it's what's the best way to save or what's the best way to invest. I've received this from so many people, and when everyone asks me, I ask the question is, what are your goals and what are your aspirations? Because it may sound rhetorical, but your goals should influence your investment strategy or your saving strategy. And we all have different things, we all want different things in life, and especially we are all at different stages in our life. I can't give you advice if you are just starting off as a first year, working young adult. I can't give you the same advice as I'm giving to someone that is newly wedded, starting a family, as opposed to someone that has, already worked for so long, already have babies, and they're just looking to save for retirement. So it depends on your facts and circumstances. So when I do ask what are your aspirations, please do take time to think about it so that I can give you more a constructive answer. Okay, but I'm gonna give a bit of my example of how I started saving so that you can sort of relate to what I'm saying and how your investment strategy or how your saving strategy should be evolving as your life is evolving, and as your facts and circumstances change, your strategy should also change. So when I started off working 6-7 years ago, I obviously had a dream of buying my own house one day. So at some stage I decided I'm going to take out a committed investment with an investment house where I save, maybe it was 1,500, I don't remember what the exact amount was, but it was less than 2,000 a month, where I commit to save via a debit order at the investment house for 10 years with the hope that this is going to be enough for me to be able to buy a house someday. But obviously at the time I thought it would take me 10 years to buy a property, but that obviously materialized a lot quicker and I didn't end up buying the property cash, which would probably be the reason why I might have made the first dream 10 years. But you see what I'm trying to get to. You need to have a specific goal and you need to try and fill in the box. So over time, as I worked a lot more and my income capacity improved, I've sort of used two ways to evaluate my investment or saving strategy. I'm going to use interchangeably for now because saving sometimes can enable you to invest, and sometimes an investment is as a result of your savings. So for now, let's use it interchangeably. Okay, so the first consideration that you need to look at is what's your risk appetite. How much are you willing to take to lose your money? So there are 2 ways in which you can invest or save. Number one is an investment or a savings where your capital is safe and there's no risk of losing your capital. This is typically where you invest in a money market account, or you invest in a bank account or a 32-day account where you know that if anything you will be able to get your money back in full, obviously net of the bank charges of the fees that is being charged to actually manage that whatever account it is. So those are low risk investment, but the lower the risk, the lower the return. So they generally generate interest related returns, and the interest is normally benchmarked on prime, and at the moment prime is very low, so whatever you can expect from those accounts are likely to be low return. But I like using things where my capital is safe for short-term goals. So if I'm planning to go on holiday in December, or if I'm planning to save for a board exam, or if I'm planning to save up money so that we can start building our village house, I don't want to put this money in an investment vehicle or saving vehicle where there's a chance that come December I have less than what I put in. And that's why those, although they earn low return, those things are very essential and they help you cater for those particular needs. other hand, you also have investments or savings where your capital is not guaranteed, and this is where we're introducing the risk element of it. But the higher the risk, the higher the return. So we are talking things about shares. So shares fluctuate in market value. You could, like, I bought shares a couple of years ago by an issuer that was issuing the security. The share was 4 rand something. Now the share is currently trading at 1 rand something. So basically, I've lost the difference between $4.70 or $4 whatever cents it was at the time versus the $1.97 at the time. So basically, your money is not guaranteed. I could have gotten to a point where at this point in time my share was trading at $8. In that case, I would have won. But now the share is trading at $1 and I bought it at $4. In this case, I've actually lost. So that is the risk attached to it. So things like shares, yes, there's a risk element to it. Bonds are a lot safer because bonds tend to not fluctuate much in market value. But if the bonds are issued at par, but sometimes some bonds are linked to market value. I have already done a video on bonds and I've done a video on shares. I'm going to link them in this video so that you can go and watch what's the difference between bonds and shares. Or things like properties. Yes, property is a good investment. The value of the property actually appreciates over time, but it's not guaranteed. There was a property crash a couple of years ago, and people that have actually invested in property found themselves owing the bank more than what their property is worth. So those are investments or savings where there is a risk element attached to it, and you are at risk of losing what you've put in. So those are the two things that you need to bear in mind. What is your risk appetite? Is it high? In that case, you should be looking at investment in shares, forex, property. Is it low, where you should be looking at money market related and call accounts and 32-day accounts, for example. And obviously, on the higher end, there's also unit trust, etc. So any capital equity related is also exposed to risk. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the duration. The shorter the duration of your goal, the more liquid you want your investment or your savings to be. You need to be able to access the money, because if you put it in the wrong investment vehicle, you might incur penalties. So like I've mentioned in my opening remarks, I had a 10-year investment that I had at an investment house, and that was meant to fund house someday, and the property acquisition happened a lot earlier, so I had to terminate that. So I had to pay what's called an early termination fee, and it was hectic because I'm breaching the terms and condition of the investment when I took it out. So if you are investing in it for a short-term goal, you must look for accounts where the money is easily accessible and it's liquid, so that you don't have to end up losing a portion of your money. But if it's a long-term goal, then you can look at things that, even if there's a fluctuation in the market conditions, for example, if you invest in shares and or property, and the market goes down because corona came or because there was a property bubble somewhere, you have enough time for the market to correct itself, so that by the time you exit that investment, your asset would have actually appreciated over time. So those two are very important. So that's why, guys, I can't really give you an exact answer what you should be doing with your money. You should look at what point in time you are. So obviously, if you are heading retirement, you can't be increasing your risk appetite, because that means that if things don't go according to plan, you could lose your entire retirement savings and you're going to retire with nothing. But if you are just starting off and you still have 30-40 years ahead of your career, you can afford to play around, because by the time you get to retirement, the market would have already corrected itself. So those are the two overriding principles. Find the goal, find your risk appetite, and find how long you have to be able to achieve that goal, and then you can decide what is the best investment or saving strategy for you. I hope that helps a lot. If you still have any question, please leave it in the comment below, or do watch out on my frequently asked questions session that I do on Instagram. There you can also share your experience, and I also tend to share what other people are experiencing, so that you can learn from me, from others, and hopefully inspire your own strategy. Thank you very much. That's all I had for today, and thank you for always giving us your time. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't done so. Share the videos with friends and family, and let's engage and grow this amazing community. As always, it's goodbye, and please stay safe.